Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where we are talking all about the earliest, weirdest pregnancy symptoms that no one usually talks about. And for those of you who don't know me, hey, I'm Connelly. Here on this channel we talk about all things pregnancy, parenthood, productivity, budgeting hacks, things like that to make families stronger. So if that sounds like your kind of jam, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos like this, bringing valuable content, and it really helps my channel out. So thank you so much to those of you who do, and I look forward to seeing you around. Now, let's jump right into some of the weirdest symptoms. Now, this video is inspired by one of my other videos that you guys really seem to like, which is the most common early pregnancy symptoms. So I'm gonna link to that below so you don't miss that one. But basically that one talks all about the earliest pregnancy symptoms, trying to figure out whether you're pregnant or not. You guys also loved my early pregnancy symptoms that I experienced. So I'll link to both of those below so you can check those out after this video. But yeah, you guys really requested this topic and I'm really excited to share some of them. A couple of them I experienced, but most of them I didn't. And I'd love to know in the comments below which ones you experienced. What was your weirdest pregnancy symptom, or what are you curious is a pregnancy symptom or isn't a pregnancy symptom? Like, is there something you're experiencing now and you're like, am I pregnant? Is this a symptom? Comment below and we'll see if we can help each other out, figure out if that's a pregnancy symptom or not. But spoiler alert, a lot of things are pregnancy symptoms. And basically, if you Google anything, is this a pregnancy symptom? The answer will be maybe, it could be. Hormones change so quickly with pregnancy, and hormones affect everything in your body basically. So that's just something that, you know, take with a grain of salt, any of these symptoms, because it doesn't necessarily mean you are pregnant or aren't pregnant, but it is fun to kind of try to guess and figure out early if you are anticipating pregnancy. So with that, I'll say one of these symptoms wasn't on any list. I Googled, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, especially when I was wondering if I was pregnant or not. I've binged these videos. I've done the research. I came with the research right here. And I'm gonna be sharing what I found, but one of the items I shared on my video, my early pregnancy symptoms, and so many people commented, I experienced that too, I experienced that too, I experienced that too. But no one seems to be talking about it anywhere else. So stay tuned for the answer to what that is towards the end. And yeah, we'll jump right in. So the first pregnancy symptom I'm going to talk about today, the first really weird pregnancy symptom, is nosebleeds. So your body starts to increase blood flow. When you get pregnant, you increase your blood volume by 50%. And I don't know how that's possible. Like, where does it go? What is it talking about? When people say that your blood flow increases 50%, but that's what it is. And so sometimes that can cause things like nosebleeds when you have so much extra blood going on and just like everything happening and your hormones reacting. So nosebleeds, if you start to get a nosebleed, you might be wondering, uh-oh, is this a sign? Okay, and along those lines, this is really TMI. So if you are someone in my family or someone who I work with or something, just go ahead and click away now. That would be totally, I'm inviting you to do that. But yeah, so with all that increased blood flow, that's everywhere, including down there. So you might get a swollen vagina, like vulva and stuff, because of all that extra blood going around, and especially to that area where things are happening. So it might feel discomfort. You might feel discomfort. It might be uncomfortable. But that's the reality of it. So if you start to feel swollen down there, you might be pregnant. Okay, while we're on the topic of TMI, so you might experience like a false period, or basically early pregnancy bleeding. This is also known as implantation bleeding. So you might be tricked into thinking you're having a really light period this time around, this cycle, but it might actually be implantation bleeding. So when the embryo attaches to the uterine wall, there can be a little bit of cramping, so that might also imitate your regular period, and it might cause a little bit of blood to come out where you normally have your period. So that's something that not a lot of people talk about, and you could be tricked into thinking you had your cycle this month. Another early pregnancy symptom is getting a cold, and not just feeling like you're sick, but actually getting sick. And the reason for this is because when you are pregnant, your body suppresses your immune system a little bit so that your body doesn't attack the foreign object, aka the baby growing inside of you. So that's something that a lot of pregnant women experience. It's like a flu or a cold or something like that early on in their pregnancy. And it's very common. I mean, hopefully you don't get too sick, but that's something that you'll hear a lot. So if you hear people saying, oh, I have a runny nose or I have this or that, it might be a side effect of that decreased immune system and them getting sick from a normal type of a cold or virus that they would have normally been able to just fight off and not even notice. Another TMI symptom, and I can't even believe I'm saying this on the internet, so like forgive me, but constipation, especially early on. So your body starts slowing things down in there so that the baby or your fetus or whatever you want to call it, I guess at the early stage it's an embryo, but has more time to absorb what you're feeding it. So like things will slow down. You might not be able to go to number 2 for a little while. So sorry about that. There are things you can take to help that are safe, but there are some things that help with going to the bathroom that are not safe to take during pregnancy. So like always check with your doctor or check online what the latest and greatest research is saying, what you can take. But yeah, that is not a fun one. And that is unfortunately one that I experienced. Not proud of it. It wasn't fun. I've never had to deal with that and I had no idea how to deal with it. So now I know. Let me know if you need any help with that part. No, actually ask your doctor. Yeah. Sorry, I can go poo on the internet. Another weird pregnancy symptom that occurs really early on that you would expect to hear from someone who's pregnant but like 9 months pregnant, not necessarily so early on, is feeling really hot. You will start to overheat right away, and like this is something that is documented, especially when you're trying to get pregnant. You might be taking your basal body temperature, like taking your temperature, your baseline, like right away in the morning when you get up. And this is something I experienced really early on with little, I would call them mini heat flashes. Like I don't want to take away from people who have really serious hot flashes, but really mini hot flashes all over, and it was like, what's going on? Another thing you might notice right away along those lines is higher emotions. So just hormones doing their thing, being wild. I remember with Azura, my second pregnancy, the Super Bowl was on, and this was like day 8, like really day 8 after ovulation. So before I knew I was pregnant. But I was like crying at a Super Bowl commercial that normally I never probably would have cried at. And I was like, I'm pregnant. Like I got a hot flash and then I was crying at something. I was like, this is really uncommon for me. This is not normal. Like something's going on in my body. And sure enough, I was. Another symptom that's kind of weird to experience so early on, but can happen because of those hormones again, is having to go to the bathroom super frequently. So it's not just something that largely pregnant people, 9-month pregnant people experience. That's something you'll experience pretty early on if you're like me. And basically every time I stood up, I had to go to the bathroom. Like you just have to kind of run there, and getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And now I'm talking about number 1, obviously, not number 2. So yeah, that's something that urgency and frequency could increase real early on. You won't see it coming, but might tip you off that maybe you're expecting. And finally, that last symptom I want to tell you about that's super weird that hardly anyone talks about is your teeth feeling that you're pregnant, like having weird teeth pain. And this is something that sometimes I'll experience if I get a cold or something, but like with early on in pregnancy, I could feel my teeth like moving, and it was like to the touch, they felt just different. I mean, it was so bizarre, and it hurt. Like I could definitely feel them shifting, I could feel them moving, and they didn't feel like teeth. They felt like hollow and weird and like soft. It was so bizarre. And so I talked about that in my video that I mentioned already, where I'm talking about my early pregnancy symptoms, and so many people commented they had the same thing. So let me know below if that sounds familiar to you, if you've experienced something like that during pregnancy, or if you're like, what are you talking about? I've never experienced that. So I want to hear from both sides, see kind of what the percentage split is. But yeah, with that, those are all of the weirdest early pregnancy symptoms that I found, like the most common but like most weird ones I find. So let me know in the comments below what your weirdest pregnancy symptom was. I'm dying to hear them. And like and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you guys around. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.